Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Well,
Because what
I think
happened, the walk normally takes place at November 1st, but because of everything, I figure we do one on the 24th, and then we can do one in November as well. I think the second is the Saturday or something like that. Because I normally do November 1st in terms
Mm.
of the ginkgo picking, but because they actually are ready, so by the 24th they'll be ready. We can do one picking there, and then we could do a second picking for those who can make the 24th.
Okay.
So those who are
Okay.
interested in coming on that ginkgo walk, ginkgo picking, I've been doing that for lots of years from
Is
since
it?
I was living in America,
All
and I've
right.
been in this country over 17 years. So that's a long time. I've been taking ginkgo over 20 years.
All right. Well, I tell you what me I gonna do. I'm gonna
Yeah,
walk outside my front door, go pick off a tree.
yeah. You only got leaf there. Is yours have seed? Because yours wouldn't have seed.
No, no,
Because
no,
you,
no.
in order for you to seed, I must tell you this: the ginkgo tree takes 30 years before it can produce seed.
Establish.
So anytime
No,
you
no, no,
eat a
no, no.
seed, you know that those are more than 30 years old.
Okay.
So
Well,
your
again,
ginkgo tree might be a year or 2 years or 3 years old.
3 years
He's
from
gonna have to
that
wait
best.
30 years before that can seed. So you might
No,
as well
no,
come
no,
on the
no.
walk.
So you
But you
got
can pick
no.
the leaf and you can make tea with the leaf. Just
Yeah.
dry them and make tea with the leaf because it's very good for the brain, very good for your circulation, very good for your memory
Okay. Well, I'm gonna obviously take
and
up on that.
your melanin. Because one of the things people who suffer from vertigo, which is the loss of the skin pigmentation,
Pigmentation.
it's actually been a study done in India says that actually the ginkgo leaf or the ginkgo,
It's a
the energy in
source
there is good for the vertigo.
of. Okay.
And this is a tree now that can last 6,000 years.
Hmm.
You
Okay.
understand?
Well, I'm gonna make it a promise now,
Yeah.
or a practice, to obviously pick the leaves, dry them. You say,
Yes.
and then
And yeah,
boil them for
then you
my
go boil them to make tea, man.
yeah.
Then yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, for the 24th, it's gonna be too much of a big occasion. I think my
Okay.
brother is gonna need some assistance because it's his earth strong.
So what time we starting on the 24th? Because I need to know that
Well,
roughly.
we intend
Roughly.
starting at 7.
Oh yeah, yeah. 24th, man. We done pick by
Yeah,
by
this
12,
is
1 o'clock. We done pick,
yeah,
man.
but some of us travel far. I mean, one of the good thing, and I'm gonna
Okay.
encouraging this of you, those of you who are anxious to align yourselves with 1,000 drums. Yeah, we've had three. I think we've got three minibuses. But
Okay.
because of the popularity of the drumming and using yesterday as an example, ours and again as an example, you know, driving, if you've got the means to get there, it's not a problem, but parking may well be a problem.
Okay.
Yeah. So you need to be in touch with Ras Chubby, Marcos, I think it was an
Anti-gene.
anti-gene,
Yes.
yeah, in order to secure, yeah, not for this week, but for next week,
24th.
the
24th.
24th.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm saying to you, it's going to be phenomenal, and obviously, we're going to make sure that there's provisions for like marquee and those kind of
Okay.
things, so that we're under the cover.
I'll be making some drink. I say I'm gonna make some drink for that day. But
Yeah.
Clive, the way you all going, it look like Boris gonna invite you all to come play down in
No, no, no,
down in the
no,
House
no.
of Parliament.
No, 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 no. Oh, Boris, I got here with. We are gonna shake him up. You know what I'm saying?
Boris gonna want you all
Because
to come play, man, to get rid of some of that COVID that they're talking about.
yeah, well, I mean, as you know, the 1,000 drum is a healing.
Yes, yes.
You know what I'm saying? And I know, as even if Boris is down in his basement and we're at Parliament Square there amongst the lions, you understand? There's no escaping this
Yes,
judgment.
yes, yes.
There's no, it's
Yes.
particularly like you've elaborated on the vibration.
Vibrational
was-
healing is the drum.
Yeah, that was demonstrated
power
when
of the
all
heart.
those alarms went off outside
Yes.
Brother Dougie that opened my eyes. I'm saying, Russ,
Mm,
imagine that if you have 1,000 drums.
right.
Yeah, no weak heart can stomach
Yeah, yeah.
this
see.
this thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So we've reverted back to the original sound now, which is the
Mhm.
heartbeat.
Yes, yes.
You know, which obviously there's an element of
Of the
love
heart, yes.
that
Naya,
is
Naya
there.
Bingi now. So you understand the concept of what Naya Bingi drumming is about.
Listen. Again, I had a little moment last night where I was speaking because you see, even before Brother Dougie's passing, I lost a brethren,
Mm-hmm.
Jaman, which was on the 11th of September of last year. No, 11th was his birthday. So I think it would have been around the July time. I'd not long to return back from Jamaica.
Mm-hmm.
And Ras Chubby,
Mhm.
they actually played outside his gates
Okay.
because he's not a person to go in a church,
Okay.
you know. So that's where I acquainted myself with the Naya Bingi and the
Mhm.
drumming,
Okay.
yeah. And then
Yes.
when my cousin then passed at the beginning of the COVID thing, which he
Oh
died,
yeah, that's my
yeah,
good friend, man.
yeah,
Cecil.
Cecil,
Yeah. That
Cecil,
was. Yeah, I remember when I called you. You told me. Yeah, I
yeah,
was.
Cecil
Yeah.
died on the 20th
Yeah.
of the 3rd, 20. And then we were looking at the significance of those dates,
Mhm.
20, 10, 20. Same like yesterday was
Okay.
10, 10,
10.
20.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Scene.
So
Scene.
these are all signs that
Yeah.
I'm fascinated with. And
Mhm.
then Julio died on like my birthday. Lady Leo died on the birthday of Jaman. Yeah.
Okay.
And then now this 24th is going to be on Mawali's, and you know, so it's
Okay.
beginning and end, beginning
yeah,
and end.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Well,
know,
let's
so
touch a little bit on Lady Leo, because we know we have that the funeral service coming up. We can
yeah.
put that out for people who may not know the date.
Yeah, but again, the concern that I hold there is insofar as the numbers as to how we put it out. Yeah,
Okay.
and I'm assuming that those who are in the know or who should know by now.
Oh, okay.
You
Okay.
know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I don't
Okay,
really
got
want to be causing
you. Respect that. Yeah. Understand.
yeah too much of
Okay.
yeah. But I'm taking it because they've done their Zoom, they've done their special programs.
Okay.
Yeah, and like for myself, I'm not one to be held responsible for it. I just,
Okay.
as you've done rightly, we mentioned.
Okay.
Yeah, so those of us, we will be, and again, it's on Zoom, so
Yeah.
I suppose we
So
could
those
really
who want-
talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, those of you who are able to, they can Zoom in
Mhm.
and social distance, obviously, within their own house, and yeah, just pay their respect, and we can honor her that way, you
Okay.
know. But insofar as the church cemetery is concerned, that is very much a family private affair because we're limited because of the numbers.
But that's limited as well.
Yeah, there's restrictions.
Even
Yeah.
the cemetery, you're restricted. Wow.
Yeah, well, I mean, Brother Dougie's, we were on the other side of the fence with the drums because that particular gate
Yeah.
was closed.
And she was part of the 1,000 drums.
And she
as
was
well.
part of the
was part
1,000
yes.
drums. I mean, she
I've got
came
a-
with the
yeah.
kids, the children.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
I've got a
saying?
video with her with the drum moving around. You know, actually, you look at the video, she there hugging everybody, and it's like, wow. Some people get their last hug on that day. It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, well, again,
Yeah.
you know, I'm pinching myself.
Yeah.
You know, well, I'm pinching myself from Brother
Yeah.
Dougie.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
because again, we weren't able to pay any respect.
Yeah.
You know, it's like he went quietly. Had it not been for those alarms going off,
Mhm.
and again, when we did his Earth Strong
Mhm.
in the park, it's like I took that to a certain extent somewhat personal because it was
Mm.
at my birthday.
Okay.
You know, we was talking about so many different
Things, yeah.
things.
Mhm.
You know, so I'm conscious of the fact that yeah, I know we have works to do, but that work's got to be done through the 1,000 drums.
Drums. Yes.
You know, again with Lady Leo, we await to see what happens with Chazan, the brother Andy, as to what the family wish to do. Yeah, but again, the common denominators are going to be the 1,000 drums.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
there are those who are out there that they're thinking other things.
Mhm.
Yeah, but we've got to see the bigger picture.
Yes.
You know, which a lot of them are not
That's
seeing.
Yes.
You-
And just to let people know that the 1,000 drum, they can just Google 1,000 drum on YouTube, yeah, and find some of the drumming that we're doing, yeah.
Yeah, and there's a Akombozi, I believe, yeah, well, let me try and see if I can find the leaflet, and I can give you the full information on that. I should always have one of these leaflets, but if I haven't,
Yeah, and I must say that the 1,000 drum, the 1,000 drummers, take no responsibility for the burst pipe that happens in
Oh, yeah.
Hackney Wick, even though we were drumming in the area prior to the pipe, the burst pipe. We take no responsibility for that, but things are just happening
yeah,
mystically and
vibration.
magically. But we were drumming. That was what they call it. a spontaneous drum session. We did up to 2 o'clock in the morning. We were in the woods in that same area drumming, and so I guess the vibration was too the pipe couldn't take it. Maybe I don't know, but we take no responsibility for that. But
Yeah.
what's supposed to happen is gonna happen in whatever way it's gonna happen.
Yeah, and again, it's really strange and significant. You know, the vibration and the power that resonate from it. You know, and again, I was sharing with my brother earlier that each time that we do go in the woods and we come out, we have expectations. You know, that the ancestors would have heard our call, heard our plea, you know, and then obviously having done so, then we await the response, which no doubt is going to be coming, you know. Right. Yeah. So yeah, insofar as the Thousand Drum is concerned, yeah, we've got the okombozi.org. You can subscribe to the Okombozi at PASCF on the YouTube channels for update. And the reason why we encourage you is that you can learn the unity beat, you know, which is the like you said, the common denominator between ordinarily drumming and the Naya Bingi, yeah, and you know, it's been really an exceptional and really encouraging, uplifting vibration that we have been experiencing amongst ourselves and the family, you know, and it really again exciting to acquaint ourselves with our brother Colin from the reggae exhibition. Again, last night we had Duke Basie turn up when we're supposed to have lockdown, and then we carry on for a
Wow.
good while afterwards. Me I tell you, man, it's such a nice vibration that people, I'm telling you, really don't realize what it is that one is missing. Yeah, but yeah, from my standpoint, obviously, I continue to promote and to push real active structure supported solutions with Enough is Enough. We've established the first outlet, which again, my brother is what's her name? The shop that you had refurbished, Amelia World Fashion and Style.
Oh yes, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're
That's Edmonton Green, yeah.
Edmonton Green Shopping Centre, Unit 17.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, you can get your T-shirts there. We've also got some badges.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we've got some badges which is dedicated to the young man Julio, and what we intend to do with the proceeds from that is to erect a park bench in Jubilee Park by the stadium, which we've been utilising, and the council officers offered to be able to plant a tree.
Okay.
So maybe we'll plant a tree from what you would describe as something medicinal,
Okay.
something which is going to
Yeah.
have some healing powers.
Okay.
You know, so that's one of the things obviously
In
I'll be able to
connection.
take back to the family as a suggestion.
Okay.
Alternative would be a fruit tree,
Yes. Yes.
you know, but it's more important to have, I think, medicinal, herbal,
Okay.
yeah, something
Okay.
that can heal the mind, the body, and
Mm-hmm.
as you've described,
Okay.
you know. Yeah, in addition to those things, obviously, there's so much which is ongoing, happening within our community, yeah, and I don't know, I brought my phone this week, and it goes to show the the reliability that is placed upon this thing, because the phone is magic, to be honest with you, but it needs to be used as a tool, but unfortunately they use it as a tracking device
Mm-hmm.
as well, and that's where our concerns are. So we're actually asking for you to what do you say, downgrade, yeah, particularly those who are in responsible positions within your own grouping, organization, structures, that you downgrade so that they can't use this as a tool against yourself, because they've got us down to the number 6, which one of the shows that we were touching on last time here was 666.
Okay. See.
Or the social distances, and
Mhm.
it's so this is so blatantly obvious,
Mhm.
that the devil's at work, in
Yeah.
all this again, insofar as this pandemic and everything, you know. So yeah, family out there, those of you who have lost loved ones, those who have had birthdays, both within the family, life as well as death has happened. And no, it's the same for a lot of other families who constantly are forever losing our loved one. Let me encourage your family to be strengthened. As Bob Marley said, don't worry, because everything is in God's hands. It's not how long we live, it's what we do in our time. So let us step up to the mark and do what it is that we have to do. Yeah? Don't be overfazed by the politicians, because they're void of common sense. They seem to lack knowledge. They turn to scientists,
Mhm.
yeah, for their findings, and their scientists, they're always experimenting, yeah, and it would appear that we are the latest, yeah, on their agenda, because historically they've always said we're the next best thing to monkeys or animals.
Mhm.
But even the animals are now crying out.
Mhm.
As my brother say, an elephant killed one of his keepers because obviously he recognized and remember the oppressions from in the past, So I am mindful of that, even like my own garden, I tell him I have to move these animals out, because them I take set is like they're
Mhm.
reading my nature.
What kind of animals you have there?
Oh man, I've got squirrel, cat, and none of them no belong to the house. You understand? But it's
Okay.
like they're all moving in,
Okay.
and then I've got the birds. The birds, and I was observing the birds this week because the cat is there and the bird is there. I mean, I watch the cat, but to be honest, I just wanted to see. So I make sure the cat know that I see him in
Okay.
relation to the bird.
Right, okay.
Because anyhow him trouble the bird, I'm going to trouble him.
Yeah. Okay.
You understand? So I've got this strange relationship happening within my garden. That's
Mhm.
aside from the fishes,
Yeah.
obviously, which
Okay.
I've got.
Okay. See.
And I've got
see.
the running waters, I've
Yeah,
got
yeah.
the chimes,
Right. See.
So it's a place for me to relax,
Mhm.
and I just have to keep an eye on the people on the other side of the fence,
See.
because they just come there and just want to relax as well.
I tell you.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
yeah, nature shows me love, and only love,
Yes,
is
exactly.
the way forward. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, family, listen, 10 o'clock done gone, and
Mhm.
obviously we need to get home to our loved ones, So my brother, I have to thank you for the time,
Yes.
your dedication, the things that you're doing.
Respect that. Yes.
No, without a doubt, you know what
Uh-huh.
I'm saying, and obviously it's like finding the time to do so much things, you know what I'm saying. But I can see and I acknowledge the fact that you are here to serve a purpose, which is to open up our eyes further and to be able to
Mhm.
simplify it as
Yes.
best as
Exactly.
possible.
Exactly. That's very
Yeah,
important.
yeah, so that we have
Mhm.
we grasp the understanding,
Mhm.
So as you will see, I'm a person that people just fed up of hearing my voice, and it's important that
No.
other people are able to speak instead of
No,
instead of
you-
myself. You know what I'm saying? But ever so often you have to say, or you have to speak up. But sometimes you lose that kind of discipline, because for you to be understood, you need to, even when you speak, it needs to be structured a certain way on the delivery.
Okay.
But yesterday I
Yeah.
spoke yesterday.
See.
I didn't even manage to record it, because
Okay.
oftentimes I record what I'm doing,
Okay.
because I don't want others to say things that I probably
Don't
did not say.
Yeah. True.
But yeah, yesterday we had an open opportunity where we were self-educating
Okay.
amongst ourselves. So there's
Okay.
something that's come out, and I think that might be replicated each time we're out there,
Okay.
because
see.
it's not just playing the drumming; it's an
Yes.
educational
It is
thing.
educational.
You know what I'm
yes.
saying? So
And it's resonating the energy with nature and with
yeah,
Yeah.
So
Wally.
again, with the input that you had made, because obviously you did it at that time because you had us to leave us,
Mhm.
but there was a time set aside
Mhm.
where we can invite the
Mhm.
likes of yourself,
Mhm.
Omawali, Ras Chubby,
Mhm.
there's our sisters there
Mhm.
that did the libation and others, because we want to be open.
Mhm.
You know, we want to express ourselves,
Mhm.
because in so doing we hear each other's commitment, yeah,
Mhm.
to the
Mhm.
cause that we're at presently. You
Mhm.
know, so it's very much appreciated, you know, and long may the journey continue. So I was excited, looking forward
Okay.
to know Glastonbury, but that's not going to happen for this year. But we've done a number of
We do, yeah.
venues.
But I've just
events.
realized, because I was talking about the Wanga earlier, because I had the Wanga mixture and I actually sprayed over the field before I left. Before I left there, I don't know if you
Oh, is
see
that
when I
that thing
go
when you
around,
was going
I was going.
around?
That was the Wanga energy.
Oh, that was the Wanga energy.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
So
well, like me
so
saying, no more
that
time,
area is
me a watching
energized,
it.
man. Yeah.
No, me a watch.
Yeah, me put so- yeah.
me a
I
watch,
just
but for
realized
me
that,
not understand,
yeah.
me not ask a
Yeah,
question,
yeah.
so it's very hard to
Yeah.
ask a question. First, me have to listen what you say, yeah, and then if
See.
it kind of pricks the ears, and I know, say, well, the listener out there maybe want to ask a question there as well.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm very observant.
See.
And even whilst I'm there, I'm just looking even above up in our stars, because
See.
oftentimes you just see something that run across up there.
See.
You see what I'm saying? So people
Yeah.
don't realize, you
Mhm.
know, they just go there taking the drums,
Yeah.
yeah, and try to take some pictures, but they don't realize that they have to connect with
Yeah.
where they're at.
Yeah.
You know, there was a time when we even went out to meet some people, and I
Mhm.
just tell the brother, listen, just hide by the tree. Yeah, hide by the tree. Because I want them to become aware,
Yeah,
as they
yeah.
travel.
Yes.
You understand?
Yeah,
That
yeah.
light energy that they think is directing their path is bringing some evil towards them.
Seen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you see what I'm saying? Because even as you say with the tree, they might be all in the liquor rest, and you're
Yes.
disturbing them.
Seen.
You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing I take away when I go into the woods
Mhm.
and I reconnect.
Mhm.
Yeah, that in so doing, I know by closing my eyes and opening it,
Mhm.
I can see.
Mhm.
And I'm telling people also, when it is that you come into the woods, be mindful, yeah, and what would you say? Make note of where it is that you're passing, so you can put things that you can identify with when you're then leaving. And usually those things are at the highest, or the tallest
Mhm.
things then say. Yeah, so that when you're walking in, as you make your step coming in, when you're leaving at night, you should not buck your toe.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, you should not buck
Sensitizing
your toe.
eyes, you with the energy. Yeah.
You understand? So the path that you walk on every day,
Mhm.
you don't expect to be looking every day where you're going if you're going
Yeah.
on the same path.
Yeah, because I was there, this guy's in the wood there, and when I come out, the lady was like, "What?"
Okay. Oh, well,
She
so it was you.
surprised. Yeah, I was there, this guy's, and when I come out, she was like, because she wasn't observant to see that I was
Yes.
firm, because I stand up like a statue, and then when I move, she was like, "What?" Hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was funny. It was funny.
Yeah, and
But it just really programmed her to be next time be
Next
observant,
time to be
because
more
even though
aware.
it's dark, you can tell that's a figure or that's a tree or whatever. It's just sensitized, and you don't got to be scared of the woods. But you know if somebody's there, that is like, okay, you can tell that's somebody there,
Yeah.
and you could call them out early.
Yeah, and the light is a false sense of security,
Seeing.
because
Yes.
rather than protecting you, which the dark affords you, the light is exposing you.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
You know, and we need to learn from those things, because
Yes.
had we not seen the light, we would not have been able to lay weight you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm
Yes,
saying?
yes.
We would have had to have called on other senses
Mm-hmm.
to be able to have the opportunity. And once we've got you in that state where we can frighten you, that means you've lost all control
Right,
of
yes.
your defense.
And you see, it's interesting because you go back to Zimbabwe as well, because here is all right. We talk about in this country is all right, but
Yeah,
place like
animals.
Zimbabwe, you got some dangerous
Animals.
snakes and insects in the woods. But how do you go there and be amongst them and don't have to worry?
Worry.
You have to know what plants that you have to either rub your body with or ingest, so you mesh with the energy.
Anyway,
Here
yeah.
we can do it. It's easy. We walk in the woods.
Yeah.
But if you're there now, those people know what to use when they're in the woods, because you can't have those European cologne on you and go in the woods. You'll be dead. They'll be like, who's this danger coming to us? They don't eat you up.
Yeah.
You know, so you have to blend in with the energies, with the elements when you're in nature. So what I'm saying this to say, when people are coming to the woods, you don't want to use all those synthetic cologne. Even though we don't have those dangerous insects, just get into the custom of blending or connect with the energy. Get some rosemary and you can use that as a cologne or whatever when you come in the woods. Don't use all the synthetic stuff, because you're connecting with the energy of nature. You don't want all that synthetic to be on your body, because then it's also put you out of sync with the energy. And this is where your energy could be. Because I went home last night after being in the dark. You know how we walk through the dark, and I had a symbol on the wall, and when I look at it, it was vibrating. And I know that's because I spent a little time in the dark there when we were walking out. And it's like, wow, it was like, wow, I like that, you know? So I look at that as like, oh, that's a good experiment to really work. Because in certain cultures, children, when they're born, they leave them for days and upon weeks in the dark to get them sensitized with the energy. Because in the room, you're in a dark room, you know, and you should not lose sight of that, because the light itself is artificial. Because remember, until they bring in electricity, all we had was the lights of the moon and the stars. But now we look at them as enemies.
yeah. And the interesting thing is, like, they disappear when there's artificial light.
Yes, seen.
Yeah, so there's so much that is lost in light, you know, as opposed to darkness. You can see further into the elements.
Yes.
You know. So yeah, again, my brother, it's like, you know, we can be here all night, you know. But again, obviously, again, I'll say, you know, you're always welcome whenever there's something significant, like the full moon.
Well, we have something significant coming up. I get you on that. That Mercury goes retrograde on the 14th. I did a write-up. I send it to you. Mercury goes retrograde in Scorpio on the 14th, opposing the planet Uranus. Scorpio.
You're saying 13th this week?
This week, 13th, 14th of this week. And so Mercury is the planet of communication, and when it goes retrograde, you have miscommunication, because Mercury is actually operating on more of the inner side and gives you a kind of understanding that is not relevant to how you understand things. So during a Mercury retrograde, we ask people to double check everything and triple check everything. And one of the things about this, because it's retrograde in Scorpio, which represents the dark water, you know, they say that still water that is dark and you don't know what's on there. That means it's going to bring up, it's going to drain the swamp. In that sense, it brings up something from way down beyond that dark waters that may may startle people. And so people need to be careful as we go into this Mercury retrograde, which is also opposed the planet that Mercury is exalted in. Mercury is exalted in Aquarius, which is ruled by Uranus. So Uranus is the higher octave of Mercury, and both of them are in an opposing energy. So this means that a lot of things gonna come to the surface, such as the issues of values. You understand? The issues of value is going to come to the surface, and things that we should value that we don't value, and we get caught up in the skirmish of the darker or the negative sides. Those may blow up in our face, and so we need to be aware that this week, and especially because also today begins under the yellow warrior. So for the next 13 days from today, is the energy of the warrior is very strong. That energy of the warrior is coming from the sun. It's that every 13 days the sun energy shifts for different, what they call Zolkin in the Mayan system, and those energy plays out in society, in our life. And those also have a higher active, which I was talking about, the 5,125 years. That's the higher active of the cycle. The lower active of the cycle is 260 years. So you got different cycles of those cycles build up into higher active. So every 13 days we change in cycle. So this begins a new 13-day cycle, similar to our week.
Okay, so that impact then, as you've just described, can that be described as vibration? I was going to say frequency, but frequency again to a certain extent is vibration.
Yeah.
But there are negative as well as positive energies. So I'm understanding from what you said that the significance of this warrior
Yes.
on the individual.
Hmm.
Is that going to be on every individual?
It plays out in society. So what you're having is the war of the words. So people need to be careful because you get caught up in the war of the words because of the retrograde, miscommunication, and being on the warrior is that sometimes we could calculate things wrong. And that's why we said double check and triple check. Because what happens sometimes, people think they hear you say something that you don't say,
Don't say.
and then they give you the stink on that. You understand? And so people need to be aware and need to be double check and triple check everything in connection under this energy. Interesting, because the movie that I was going to recommend to watch in connection to the New World Order system that we're going through is The Enemy of the State. I don't know if you remember, you've seen that movie. You remember the movie?
I can't remember seeing it, but I've heard of
Okay.
of it.
Yeah. Because in there was interesting because the miscommunication was in there is that the lawyer who was Will Smith was representing a mafia, yeah, and the mafia, when he showed the mafia that he had a tape with the man, and that means if that tape gets out, he can go to prison because he's on parole. So the man says, I need to know who made that tape, because I want that document so he don't get out. But Will Smith get caught up in another tape, had nothing to do with that, where the government actually, which is the enemy of the state, they killed actually a government official, killed a politician, and he was caught on tape. So they wanted to get the tape from Will Smith. Anyway, case in point, Will Smith get caught up with the guy. They wanted to kill Will Smith, but Will Smith said, I got the tape. I got to take you to the man who have the tape. He take him to the mafia who have a different tape, not that tape, and tell the mafia, say, this is the man that have the tape. So now the two of them quarreling over tape that not have nothing to do with the same tape that they discussed. They're different, two different conversations, but that was his getaway because he pinned the two enemies against one another.
Yeah.
You see, and sometimes, yeah.
And again, it's a strategy, it would appear, of the West.
Yes.
And then they kind of visualize it.
Mhm.
So it's like you're preconditioned, and then they then draw you into it, so it then becomes like a norm, a reality.
Yeah. Well, the thing about the movie, why I'm recommending it, because it shows you how much the what they call it, how much they actually try to curtail
Manipulate.
people's freedom through electronic surveillance. Government using satellite, using different things that they put on people to frame them or to follow them around. So it gets a lot of that, especially because we're in COVID-19 and what they think.
And the
Enemy of the state.
Yeah, and the same 5G, which is frequency modulated.
Yes.
Oh, my people. Yeah, if you don't have knowledge, then what can we say? Enough is enough nonetheless.
Yeah, you talk too much.
Yes.
Talk too much.
You hear that? I talk too much. Imagine that. Yes, but I'm blessed. Yeah, I am blessed. Yes.
I'm vexed, and I don't
I'm
intend
vexed.
to deny it.
Yeah, my family. Yeah, we've come to an end. Yeah, we've given our time. We've not given our all. There's more to come, but bear with us until such a next time. Yeah, have a fantastic week. Remain strong. Yeah, be resolute. Have an open mind. Know who your God is. Yeah, and family, extended family. Yeah, find the love, because love is a solution to all things. Yeah. So let me leave you with the last few words from the good book. As love is the key to our destiny, and good is all. Life without learning is barren and meaningless. Yeah, there's nothing as precious to one as a sound mind in a sound body. Yeah. So, my brother Galactic Pride, I give you thanks. Yeah. And I look forward to our work. I look forward to the walk, the herbal walk, obviously the drumming, the labyrinth, all the things that you do. Obviously, we've connected, and long may that continue.
And yes, I would say I don't have to give up my number because somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody knows me. So you can get my number from there.
Yeah, he's in the sky. Yeah, it's astrological. Yeah, says up in the air. Yeah, so yeah, manners, respect, and more love to the family.
Thanks, Clive, and keep up the good work, yeah?
Yeah, I'll continue as best as, you know. Yeah, so long life with good health, my brother. Yeah, and bless up, bless radio. Yeah, for the opportunity for obviously for us to know ourselves. Yeah, so until next week, my family, Jah guide and protect you always. Yeah, manners and respect. Every time.
Run away, run away, run away.
The runaway slave is running away.
Take some time before we all can see the change that surrounds our minds are killing us slowly. I've got to get out of here, cause this has never been a love affair. Our children keep dying in the streets. No matter how hard some try, some say it's to no avail. Youth's got to recognize the motherland again. I'm living in a danger zone, so far away from home. Look how they're taking advantage of we yeah. Oh Babylon, you're wrong, so wrong. Oh power gone, hold on. I said your judgment won't be long. Oh brother man, be strong. Put down your weapon, oh Lord, cause divide and rule is the wicked one's master plan. Why y'all? Oh, many have lost their lives fighting for the cause, and oh, so many know not what they're fighting for. Many warriors have been compromised, fought with the riches and the lies.